Hey, good morning, everyone. Welcome to Mentor Monday. Mentor Monday is your weekly microdose of encouragement, inspiration, and miracle grow on your potential as a coach. As you're making it into the room, do me a huge favor. Tell us hello. Say hello. Tell us where you're joining us from. One thing that you're excited about that you feel life and momentum on today. What I always love to do is interact with you. Um, so if you would do that, just let us know, particularly if you're on Facebook or on YouTube. We're able to actually pull your comments up on the screen and interact with you. And so I'm going to give everybody just a few seconds to get in here. Make sure that you say hello. Tell us where you're joining us from. One thing that you're excited about that you feel life and momentum on this week, what you're excited about today. Also, start posting your questions in there because we are in a series right now talking about email marketing. And if you were with us last week, one of the things that I told you is that email marketing is still extraordinarily effective and it's very cheap. It's pretty much free to build a list and to get clients off of it. But I would say that most people aren't really using email effectively. Let me say hello to Be Fine from Nigeria. Welcome, Be Fine. Just as you guys are making it into the room, do me a huge favor. Make sure that you comment and say hello. Also, do me a huge favor and like and share this post, because what it does is it tells Facebook and it tells YouTube that we're doing a really good job on there. So some people are probably, I don't know, less excited about email than maybe they used to be, but you actually should be excited about email. And the reason why is because email not only is cheap, it's pretty much free, but the people who are using it really effectively are making a boatload. And when it comes down to the margins that you need in your business to actually make a lot of money, there's some people out there who are selling courses on how to run ads on Facebook and how to run ads on Instagram and those kinds of things. That requires, for one, there's not a whole lot of individuals who are really successful in doing that. Plus, they're also spending a bunch of money to actually make their first dollar. With email marketing, you can actually start building your list for free, sending email. And most of these email softwares that are out there, some of the email marketing companies that you can utilize, are actually free up to X amount of thousands of users. So you can literally send thousands of emails for free and be building your business, be serving your target market, and being able to reach out to them. And so last week I was talking a lot about, and there's Tanya. Hello, this is Antoinette from North Carolina. Excited about getting started to be a coach. Excellent, welcome. And so last week I started talking a lot about serving your audience and the kinds of content that you really need to, when you're thinking about sending emails to people, that you're thinking about serving your target market. This week, I want to go a little into the next layer and talk about what does it require to get someone to open an email. Now, one of the terms that are used in email marketing, and I'll just give you the term that you usually hear in email marketing, and it's called open rate. And really what we're talking about is the percentages of emails that go into an email box and actually get open. So let's say that you have 1,000 people on your email list. You sent an email, and typically in the email marketing software, now, if you're sending it from your own email account, you're not going to see this. But if you use one of the email softwares, and I'll throw a few of them out there and we'll talk more about these in the future, but there's a few of them that are out there that you can research. One of them is called Active Campaign. Another one is that's very popular is called MailChimp. There's ConvertKit. There is Constant Contact is an old one. And this is a brand new marker, and it's just not that great this morning. Come on, marker. And so these are a few of them that you'll see out there. There are a ton of them, and all of them give you statistics so that you can see if your emails are actually effective. And some of these give you some nice templates and some drag and drop features and different kinds of things. You can actually see if somebody opened your email and if they click any link that you've put in there. Now, one of the big things that they talk about is this thing called open rate. And so open rate, essentially what we're talking about, let's say that you sent your email to 1,000 people. Let's say that we sent an email to 1,000 people. Open rate is what percentage of these people actually opened the email. And so you can look at your email statistics when you send an email, and you'll see a lot, and you'll see these different numbers. You know, let's say that I would say in general that if you can do a 30+% or better email open rate, you're doing pretty decent in terms of the averages. But I would say this, that most coaches who have an email list that are sending emails out to their people are not even getting them to open them up. They're sending emails, and that email box from one of their potential clients might as well be the graveyard of their emails. All of your aspirations of becoming a coach, and if you've ever sent out emails to people and you haven't gotten a response from them, and let's say that you were all excited and you put an email together, you wrote it and you sent it out, and no one actually even responded to the thing, high percentage of chance that your emails didn't actually even get open. They might have gotten into the inbox if you're able to get past the spam filter. But if they got into the inbox, if they weren't open, then there's something wrong with what you're doing. And so what I'm going to show you today is how to get people to actually open your email. I'm going to help you up the percentage of chance that they're going to open them. Okay. So to do that, let me show you something really quick. Keys to getting people to open your email. I'm going to do an overview, and then we're going to do a dive into one of these points. The reasons people open an email, these are the top 5, really. And what you see is sender name. And really simply, when it comes to sender name, I'll talk about that in just a second. But sender name, really what we're talking about with sender name is that you actually have your name in the email. And also the email that it's coming from is going to be really important as well. If you do not put a sender name, or you put the name of your company, and the from address is something like contact@blankcoaching.com or something like that, or info@blankcoaching.com, it's not personalized enough from that standpoint. And so when someone sees it in their inbox, the lower the chance that they're going to open it. So the simple thing is, make sure that the sender name actually has your name in it. Make sure that it's actually coming, or at least appears to be coming, from your personal email address. That's always going to get a much higher open rate if it's coming with a name and from your email address. So, but let's do a deep dive really quickly when it comes to, and what I'm going to do really quickly, just so that you guys can see them. I'll hide the crawler for a second. What we want to do today is a deeper dive on this 47%. This is a reason why people open an email, is the subject line that they are seeing. Let me say hello to Sassy really quick, because she's saying hello. Sassy from South Carolina, welcome. So let's do a deep dive on subject line, because it stands to reason. Sender name's easy to fix, right? Sender name can be fixed like that, okay? Now we've dealt with 60-something% of the reason why someone would open an email. To get to a higher percentage of open, we have got to deal with the subject line, which is nearly half of the reason why someone would open an email from you is the subject line. So what is the important things that you need to know about subject lines? Let's talk about it. First of all, in the subject line, it needs to be visible. It's about the visibility of the subject line itself. What do I really mean by that? This is what I mean. Visibility has a few different factors in it. One of those factors is capitalization. Another is the number of characters in the subject line. And the third thing is mobile devices, that we'll talk about here in just a second. Now, visibility, first of all, when it comes to capitalization, you need to be really careful when it comes to capitalization. Why is that important? Because if everything's just all in caps, then nothing really matters. I'm not saying you can't use capitalization. I'm not even saying that you can't capitalize an entire word. But if you're capitalizing the entire subject line, if you are over capitalizing, sentence case is can be your friend And so can capitalization if you do it right. But if we're doing all of this crazy stuff with regard to the subject lines, it's automatically going to look like something that's spammy. For one, your filters in your email program are probably going to see all of the capitalization and it's going to look like something that's spammy, and they're going to either ban it or throw it into the spam folder or the promotions folder if you're in Gmail. But the thing is that we're trying to draw someone. We're trying to draw someone in. So to make it visible, one of the keys is making sure that you emphasize what you want to emphasize in the subject email, and the rest that you can leave in lowercase. You look at some of the emails that we send you, just as a tip, you're going to see that sometimes we're capitalizing certain words inside of the subject line because we want to draw your attention to some things, but we're not trying to capitalize everything that's in the subject line. Second thing that I would tell you is that emojis are something that can be used in subject lines to draw people's attention to what you're offering. But again, you got to be careful with it. You got to make sure that you're not overdoing it, that you're not putting like 10 emojis inside of a subject line. But in many cases, emojis have color to them, and they just draw the eye to something that you're trying to feature. But again, you've got to be careful with how you do that. But those are keys to actually making it more visible. But let's get a little bit more granular on this. One of the important things that most of you probably haven't realized with email marketing is that there is actually, in some cases, it doesn't seem like there's a limit to how many characters that you can put into a subject line. But the problem is that some people are making subject lines that are way too long for most people. When I have this highlighted part about mobile devices, let me give you a really important number that you really need to know. 60%. What is that? This is how many people are reading their email, first of all, on their mobile device compared to the way that it was on their computer. Now, I know some of you still use Outlook, and I know some of you still use your browser on your computer or your laptop to open up things. I'm just telling you that most people, the way that you're composing your email, if it looks great on your computer, that's fine. Just know this is that most people are going to open up your emails from them on their mobile browser. So if you are not optimizing for mobile, you're not thinking about how it appears in a mobile device. Now, in all this email software, you can send yourself. Let me see if I even have my phone. I don't have my phone over here. Strange. But if you send an email to a phone, you can usually send like a sample to yourself. You can look at how it's going to look and perform inside of an email app to confirm whether or not something looks good or not. Let me say hello to Barry. Barry from San Diego. Welcome, Barry. Okay, so 60% of your emails are going to be opened on mobile. So huge consideration for when someone's opening up your email, the design and all of that. But the subject line is what most people are not thinking about. You can put a lot of characters inside of a subject line does not mean that you need to do that. Why is that? There's two things that I'm showing you here. One is that 85% of users are Gmail users. They 80%, and what Gmail says is that 85% of their users are active in using their Gmail. And so it's really important because for some of you who just think that everybody's looking on a different device or they're using Outlook or something like that, I'm not saying that people don't have those, but I've even seen with the people who go to our school that this number actually stands up. It's probably 75, 85%. So I see that consistently as far as the number. Why is this important? Because when we think about our email marketing, we are programming for Gmail. We're doing everything that we do, trying to go by Gmail behaviors. You know why? Because they're kind of leading the charge, and it's actually changing the way other people do their email programs. If you can strategize, you can think about doing what you do for a Gmail user, then you're going to have an email that will work for Outlook and everybody else. So that's why this is super important. So as you look at this, not only are 85% of people using Gmail, and the Gmail saying that they have mostly active users, This is the way a mobile, now listen, it's going to vary from phone to phone, okay? If you look at this screenshot that I've got for you inside of a Gmail app, you can see this is what people are able to see when you send them an email. Now, I'm going to ask you to do something really quick. I'm going to interrupt just for a second and ask you to do this. Like this post and share it, comment, okay? It tells Facebook and YouTube that we're doing a good job. That's the minimum thing I'm going to ask of you, because what I'm showing you today is worth thousands of dollars. You know how I know that? Because I've made hundreds of thousands of dollars just from email marketing without spending a dime on Facebook ads or anything else. You guys need to know this, that I've never had to pay for advertising in all of these years of being in business. And so take what I'm telling you stuff today that I would normally only talk to my Jumpstart students about. And so understand that what you're getting is such extraordinary value. If you never, ever get certified through Life Coach Training Institute or work with me personally, know this, that I have added thousands of dollars worth of value. And if you're not taking notes, then you're cheating yourself today, because what I'm showing you will make all the difference in what you're doing in email marketing. I'm serious about that. So please just at least like and share this post, and we're going to go on. So inside of the app, you can see what you see inside of a Gmail app. And what do you see there? You see the name, like we were talking about. That's going to be the first thing that people see. That's why it's so important to put your first name in there, because it's going to be the first thing that everybody sees when they open up their email. Second thing that they see is the subject line. You see how the subject line's actually, at least in this view, is a little bit smaller. Now, notice in all of these subject lines that are shown here, you notice how they are short. I'm going to give you another tip here, okay? Max subject line, they say, is 40 characters. Max, in terms of being viewable. See how we open this up? If you have most of your subject line that's not showing up there, then people aren't seeing it. You've got to at least put the most important part of your subject line in that viewable area. They say 40 characters maximum to be viewable. For Gmail, it's different. It's 38 characters. 38 characters. And what is a character? Each letter is a character. Each space is a character. So when they look at the email, I'm not saying that you can't have a subject line that's longer than that. What I am saying is that if it's going beyond 38 characters, no one's seeing what your offer is. No one's seeing what you have to say. So put your most important words in there. 4 to 6 words, something like that. Most important words. Now, look at this next little thing. Do you see that preview text? This is something that all email programs have, and most coaches, and I would say if you're using email marketing, most of you didn't know this existed, and you're not using it to your benefit. So I'm showing it to you. Again, I'm showing you something that has allowed me to be so successful and build a business off the back of email marketing without spending any money on marketing. This is how it gets done. Look at the preview text right here. You see that? What's highlighted? Dear Lauren Smith, below are the updates of your. Listen, if your preview text sucks like that, people aren't going to open it up. Okay? Look at some of the other preview texts. Toby, 50% off your first order. Your 50% off code is. That is going to draw someone in who actually wants that product. See how important that is? So these are the things that we're thinking about, is that you have a name, you have a subject line, but you also have preview text that shows up in that display pane. We've got to think design for mobile, and we've also got to think, what are the most important things? If I only had a few sentences, if I only had like a sentence, if I only had a few words, what are the most important things that sum up what I am talking about that actually gets them to move on what I'm talking about? Okay. Now, what is the other thing that we really need to think about? Well, here's the next thing. Besides that, we've got to talk about personalization when it comes to the subject line. What do I mean by personalization? Well, for one, we're talking about it's actually coming from you as a sender with your name, all of those things. Personalization means that I'm going to do something more in the first person in a couple of different ways. One is I'm going to write subject lines that are in the first person that are directed to you. And so I might say, I might actually use the word you, or I might have the word you understood as you, or I might actually use your name. If you will put a name in the subject line, you're going to increase the odds of someone opening up that email by about 26%. It's crazy. So, name, and making sure that you have names spelled correctly and all that other stuff inside the email software that I showed you a while ago. There's a little plugin that you can put in there that will pull the name. You don't have to write individual emails for everybody. It'll literally pull the name out of the database and put it into the subject line. If you say you can, then that's another effective way, or a subject line that is also an understood you. Let me see who else I need to say hello to. Nahid, welcome. Hey, do me a huge favor again. Make sure if you have any questions that you put them on there. Make sure that you like and share this post, because that really helps us tell Facebook and YouTube that we're doing a really good job, okay? I'm going to finish with one more thing, but let me pay the bills really quickly, okay? This weekend is our final live online coaching boot camp that we're going to do for the entire year. If you want to get trained and certified for January 2021, here's your chance. If you'll join me this weekend, you will walk away trained and certified in a single weekend. No more excuses, you guys. What are we covering? What is coaching? How to listen on a transformational level, the steps of a coaching session, building a coaching framework that gets results, focused, effective coaching that cuts out the fluff, high impact coaching. I give you 2 models of coaching, core skills and characteristics of breakthrough coaching, the best practices for ethical coaching, how to ask powerful questions, how to build coaching relationships that last. Again, this is the last boot camp of 2020. It is live. It's expanded training that we do not cover in our life coach training course. We do live Q&As, we do live coaching practice demos, and life coach certification, and all of this is included. If you're wondering about the price, it's actually not a whole lot more expensive than what we normally charge. It's only $247. And for some of you who are coming up on the weekend and you're like, I don't have $247. There's a payment plan, so you can get started for $47 a month. What we'll do through this entire weekend, what I walk you through, is how do you have an effective lens? How do you see coaching? There's a lot of self-work that's actually involved in being able to see and coach people effectively. What we do in each session, I bring you from a 40,000 foot view all the way to a very tight, focused, honed in, strategic view of coaching and how to effectively help your clients succeed, get breakthrough, achieve their goals, all of those other kinds of things. Every session has Q&A involved in it. And so every coaching boot camp that we do is a little bit different because of that Q&A, because you can ask me any question that you want. Again, it's live. You'll see some of the people that you are attending with, because you're going to be watching live coaching boot camp, live coaching demos throughout the entire weekend. Again, the price on this is only $247. There's a link inside the description of this video, both on YouTube and Facebook. If you're watching us on Instagram, it's actually in the profile link. If you'll just open that up, then you can get registered today. We're going to run out of space, but you can get in today if you'll jump in and do that. If you've Googled how to become a life coach more than 2 times in your life, you are procrastinating. Let's overcome the fear. Let's get this over with. Let's do it. Let's change the world together. January is just weeks away. I tried to tell some of you about September being the #1 month of the year for business, and some of you didn't get your stuff done. January is the close second busiest month of the entire year. It's easy to sell coaching. Everybody's wide open, especially after a hellacious 2020 that so many people experienced. They do not want to repeat this year. They've already thought about what they want for their next year, but they need you to step up in this moment, because people's stories are not going to resolve next year unless your story resolves. Are you going to do something? Are you going to quit making excuses? Are you going to quit being afraid? Are you going to quit doing things for free that you could be getting paid for? This is what this is about. The boot camp is this weekend. It's Friday night, all day Saturday, all day Sunday. We give you an hour break in between each session so that you can get a breather. It's all fully online and on demand. We record every session. So if something happened, let's say this weekend, before any of you ask me, Paul, I can't make it Friday, but I can be there Saturday and Sunday. Is that okay? It's absolutely okay, because we record the sessions and they're usually up within 24 hours. We have them processed and you'll have access to them immediately. All of the slides, all of the activities, everything that we do, you get access to for the next 6 months after that's over with. You also get access to the Life Coach Certification course and everything that we give you along with certification. The cost, again, is only $247. Some of you need to make a move. Like today, you need to bust a move on this, because you are not going to find a deal like this anywhere. It's huge value that we pour into you. You know that on Mondays, I never waste your time. It's never fluffy. And everybody who's ever taken boot camp has always said, I got so much more. You need to charge more than what you're charging. I hear it consistently. We're not upping the price. There's no excuse for why someone can't come up with $247 for this weekend. There's just not a good enough excuse. Sometimes you have to get creative for what you want. I was completely broke and had nothing when I had to pay thousands of dollars to get trained and certified as a coach. And you wouldn't believe what I went through to do it. I remember I had the money to get trained and certified, but I had to travel all the way to the Bay Area. I scrimped together points to a lot of weird places to be able to fly where I needed to go. I couldn't afford a rental car. I took a shuttle from the airport to where I needed to get. I slept in the airport the first night, took a shuttle to where I needed to get, walked 3 miles to the hotel where the training was, and I bummed a ride to a Motel 6 where I was paying $60 a night to be able to stay there. This is what I did. I spent thousands of dollars and I got creative to find it. So I think that if I can do that, sleep in an airport, walk 3 miles, wipe the sweat off of my body to go into a hotel ballroom with a bunch of other aspiring coaches. That's why I eat this business as lunch. This is why I'm so successful, and it's why I crush it, because I'm willing to put in the pain and the work. But what I've done in my life is all of the blood, sweat, and tears that I've walked through, we've made it easy for you to be able to say yes. So whatever the thing that's in the way that's keeping you from being able to say yes, you need to just confront it. Click that link, get enrolled. I'll see you this weekend. Let me finish with what I was going to talk about for the rest of today. There's Diane from South Carolina. Welcome. There's Desiree. Hey, Desiree. So let's talk about one more thing before we head out for the day. And any of you who are making it in, if you've got any questions about anything, go ahead and push your questions. If you got any comments, throw them in. But let's finish up with this last thing. The last part of a subject line, and we're going to have to, and I'm going to have to expand on it probably next week, is what we call the call to action. What does your subject line actually say? What does it say? Because we talked about just the simple fact that you've got a subject line and you've got preview text that you need to work together to get people's attention. But what does it say? It needs to be personal. It needs to have that person's name, or it needs to be in the first person, and it needs to be directed. But there has to be a call to action. What are you calling them towards? Whatever. And sometimes you'll see emails, and it's, look at the emails right now that you get from places, and what is it about the subject line that gets them to open it? Some of those things, not only is it personalized, but it is intriguing. It's interesting. Try today just as a test. Pick 20 people that you know you've got their email, and maybe they're friends or just people that you know, even acquaintances. But make sure that your email shows your name, and inside the subject line, I just want you to put in the subject line, I need to apologize, or I'm sorry. Just put those in there and then send it. And watch how many people open up the email and how many people actually respond to it. It's going to be a crazy test. Matter of fact, what you might even do is put, I apologize. I'm sorry, I apologize, or I need to apologize to you. And in the preview text, just put your cell number and your name. Hey, but I need you to call me. Let them call or text you. Watch how quick the response is. Watch how effective the response is just doing that. Why? Because it's personalized, it's intriguing, it's interesting, and it's actually a call to action that is inside of the email. Try that today. If I'm wrong, then prove it to me that I'm wrong. But I've noticed that every time that I've done an intriguing, interesting subject line, now there's some things that you don't want to overdo. But these are the ways to get people to actually open an email, see it, scan it, and actually open an email. Let's see if there's any other questions that we have on here. Any questions that you guys have for me, anything that you would like to say before we head out, do me a huge favor and like and share this post, okay? I really need you guys because, again, we gave you thousands of dollars worth of information today that can make you a six-figure coach. I'm convinced of it because I did it myself. It's not rocket science, but it's about doing the right kinds of things strategically and effectively. Let me just pay the bills one more time. This weekend is the last boot camp of 2020. It's Friday night, Saturday, and Sunday. It is live. It's expanded training that we do not cover in the Life Coach certification course or in any of the training. Everything's live. We do live Q&As at the end of every session. We also have live coaching demos so that you can see people do coaching in a live format, and we give you feedback on how that's going. If it's going well, what can be strengthened, all of those other kinds of things. You do get trained and certified by Sunday. You'll be ready to take the exam. If for some reason you miss a session or two, now listen, we prefer that you're around the entire weekend, but if something happens and you miss a session or two, then you can always circle back and you can watch it because we post everything usually within 24 to 48 hours. By Monday night, we'll have all of those sessions already processed and they'll all be on the website. Also, another thing that's important for you to remember on this thing is some of you have gotten trained and certified previously. We have a huge discount for you. You can actually go through Bootcamp for only $95 if you are already certified through Life Coach Training Institute. So if you're just wanting to come back, a refresher, you want to spend a weekend or whatever, some of you have been asking us for continuing education, it's only $95 for the people who have gotten trained and certified before. But this is your day, folks. $247. Get trained and certified in a single weekend. If some of the sessions don't work out for you, you can watch them in replay and finish up in the middle of next week or something like that. This, again, last boot camp of 2020. You can be trained and certified for January. And you can get this out of the way. Let's get it out of the way. Let's get it in the bag. Let's get it done. And let's start January hitting the ground running to sign up all the people who are ready. If you wait until January to get trained and certified and to get this stuff going, you are not going to have any clients probably until March, because it's going to take a little bit of ramp up time. Because if you're trying to get trained and certified and you're going to wait till January, you're going to spoil the first X amount of weeks of the year when it's the easiest to get clients, and you're going to be burning through. You're going to be trying to catch up and get your training out of the way. I don't know that we're going to do a boot camp in January. I'm not really certain. The Life Coach certification course, which is self-paced, you can do in January, but still you're putting off your training. Let's get it done. Let's rip the Band-Aid off this weekend. The pain, the procrastination, I know how all that stuff is, the fear. Let's conquer it this weekend. You're going to walk away with extraordinary confidence, and you're going to know how to coach people and be really effective with them. I want to see if there's any other questions before we head out. Again, one more request. If you would, please like and share this post and also comment, because again, it tells Facebook and YouTube that we're doing a good job. Other than that, I'm going to head out for the day. Listen, I appreciate you guys all immensely. Get trained and certified this weekend. I hope to see you there. Have a great rest of your week and take care.